Welcome to One on One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. They're all big. It's election season, and we are interviewing candidates for the various state and county offices in our area. Today we have a man who doesn't even have an opponent, but he's so special to our show. We love having him so much. We want to see what he has to say about his election prospects. Delegate Carl Anderton. Welcome, Carl.
I love you too, brother. I love you too. Mama always said I was special.
So we called you and said, we're not going to have you on because you don't have an opponent.
Right.
And you were like, no, I'm coming on.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
I think it was.
You said, hey, we really would like to have you come down. I said, really, I think you should probably focus on the people who are in competitive races. I'm out knocking on doors saying thank you to everybody in my neighborhood.
Let's talk about that. Now, you were not, you have no challenger.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of politicians would just stay home or not worry about it, but you are out there running. You've got signs. You're out there like it's an election.
Yeah, I haven't put nowhere near the signs that we put up 4 years ago, obviously, because there's so many competitive races, and I know the landscape is, the real estate is very valuable for sign locations, and so I figure it's kind of selfish of me to clutter it up with my signs to block their signs.
And there's no room on top of the Hogan or below the Hogan signs to put signs anymore.
That real estate's already taken. So, yeah, right. Everybody's gotten as close to the governor as they can, and we kind of joke about that. And
yeah, I noticed a lot of the Mary Beth Groza signs have been replaced by Harris signs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he does have a race this time.
Yes.
Jesse Colvin is running against him, and that should be fun to watch. But
Jesse doesn't have a chance, does he?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
60-40 on the best day because of the gerrymandering.
Right. Well, if it is 60-40, then that means he's got a springboard to run again in 2 years. If it is that close, I don't know if it will be or not. But
I was always taught that 60 is like a wipeout. Like if you get 60% of the vote,
in this congressional district, I think 60. You have to kind of look over his shoulder a little bit because you should be getting 75% of the vote.
Right.
On the shore.
Right. And you'll get at least that this time.
We hope. I don't know. I mean, I'm running against myself, and right now I'm losing to myself. So, he's outworking me, but I'm gonna catch him. But no, it's incredible, man. We were sitting here kind of talking earlier. I mean, 4 years ago, you and everybody else were like, hey, who's this guy? Go on, get out of here.
Right. We'll find someone serious to run against him, and
right. And then here we are, 4 years later. I'm just. It is probably this. Every experience I have, I always say it's the most humbling experience in my life. It's this right here that, my family, my friends, my neighbors, my bosses, they all, think that I've done an average enough job that, I should be able to do it again. And it's awesome. We're knocking on doors and people now, they're like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, just saying hi.
Yeah.
And, I've had folks who didn't vote for me 4 years ago. Saying, you know what, I didn't vote for you, but you've done pretty good. Some say you've done really good. Some said you've done pretty good. I had one guy said, you're not that bad. So it's kind of, it's awesome. It's just.
Well, of course, what I thought was you wouldn't be able to stay true to yourself. You'd have to be too serious. It would be a drag for you. But somehow you have managed to be yourself. And it seems like people actually like you.
I guess, my grandmother was right. She said, when I got elected, she said, look, when you go to Annapolis, I want two things. She said, just go up there, just be yourself, don't change. People will like you for who you are because I like you. And then she said, don't embarrass me.
Right.
Well, you've seen the way I dress up in Annapolis, so we blew the embarrassment thing a long time ago.
No, you look good. You look professional enough.
Yeah, but it's.
But you're from Delmar.
Got to have fun with it.
So we don't have a lot of expectations.
Well, that's not cool, man.
I'm from Ironshire.
Well played, brother. Well played.
I have to ask you.
Sure.
I know you love the governor. And
Yeah.
whenever you're on, you talk about how much you love the governor.
That's my man. Yeah.
We had a Republican delegate on recently who said, I don't love the governor. I disagree with the governor a lot, but he's our governor, so I'm willing to stand with him. And it was that right wing doesn't love the governor as much, who's pretty much a centrist, moderate. Right. Do you ever disagree with the governor?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I like vinegar on my fries at Thrasher's. He not as much vinegar, and he doesn't like salt on his fries, No, of course. I mean, the only person you agree with 100% of the time is yourself. When people say, you know what, we disagreed on that one issue, forget him,
Right.
That's ridiculous. You
Right.
can't, life doesn't work that way. It doesn't, it's like I go into Wawa, and I want a grape kickstart, I go in, they're sold out. And I'm like, well, I'm never coming in here again. That's ridiculous.
That's not the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
You come in next week, guess what's there? More grape kickstart.
Right.
So it's magic. But so for people, I don't know. The governor's been great to me. Anytime we've needed anything.
What do you owe his success to? Why is he so popular?
Because what you see is what you get. That's what he is. When the camera's on, the camera's off. When we're hanging out somewhere being goofy, he's the same there as he is at the podium. He's just a guy that wants to help his neighbors. And I think that's why we kind of click a little bit, is because that's the way I feel. I don't care about the left side or the right side or whatever. I want the making it happen side. I want to get it done.
Right.
What do you need to enjoy your life just a little bit better? What do you need? Let's find it. If we can't find it, we're gonna figure out why. That's it. All this other stuff is just nothing. It's just distraction.
Historically, we have not always had great relationships with governors for some reason. Mm-hmm. But I'm always amazed this governor seems to like us. He seems to come down here when he doesn't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just like
especially Salisbury.
Sure.
Governors never came to Salisbury.
Right.
Miller Taws would come to Salisbury, but
well, it's because he was going to Chrisfield.
Right. On the way home. But that was really about it.
Yeah. Well, you got a good mayor in Jake, and Jake is in the same mold. I think that's why there's a lot of us that kind of click, because we kind of push that stuff off, and Matthias is the same way. It's Johnny Maltz is like that. And we just kind of, all right, what do we got to do to get it done? And that's what makes life great. I mean, that's what makes this special, is when you're able to put that stuff off to the side. When that stuff kind of filters back in, you kind of have to catch yourself, because you don't want to get caught up in it, because it's very easy to. You watch CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or whatever, same stories told 3 different ways. And it's like a soap opera or something, so it's like when I was a kid at my grandmother's house watching Young and the Restless, the stories, it's like,
right.
This isn't Genoa City, it's not real, so it's just, I don't know,
How have you avoided that? Every freshman legislator I've ever known has some kind of miscommunication thing with the press sometime in their term, and they end up with a bad story. You've been pretty clean.
Well, it'll come.
Well, you mentioned Johnny Maltz. He had the one with there was a confusion over a gun vote.
Yes,
I mean,
and so
it made him look really bad for a while until it was all cleared up.
Right, and part of that, I'd asked Johnny to wait through the weekend, and we would put something together.
Yeah.
And I guess people were hitting him on Facebook. I said, you got to let that, you can't, social media is not everything.
Right.
It's not, it's a small sampling, and it could be an incorrect sampling. So you got to just hold off, get your thoughts together, put something out that hopefully makes sense. Well, he didn't wait, and so we saw what happened.
Right.
So, but next time, he'll wait. But, you live and learn. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Life goes on.
Usually what it is, there's a freshman lawmaker in a committee, or they're in a meeting somewhere, and they say something, and they don't realize that the people in the room are going to run and tell.
Right.
Or there's a reporter in there. That's usually when
Sure.
things go wrong. But you've managed that pretty well.
Because it is what it is. I did the same thing when I was mayor at the council table. If I thought something was ridiculous, I'd say it was ridiculous. If I thought something was great, it was great. And you got me thinking on that one now. But I don't know. I'm blessed, man. I'm just incredibly blessed and honored, and so I just treat it that way, and I give it the respect the job deserves, that I'm there not for me. You know, I'm there for my neighbors. You know, I'm there for the folks that live on Camden Avenue, that that live down in Fruitland. You know, up in Delmar. You know, I'm there for the whole county. I mean, if you're in Sharptown, to Pittsville, to Willards, I got you, and I'm going to do my best not to embarrass you. You know, by what I say. I will by the way I dress, but not what I say.
No,
but
no.
yeah.
You have a bromance with our mayor, Jake Day.
Yeah.
And someone who was in here as a candidate was talking about how we need younger leadership. You guys are considered young leadership. Would you consider yourself like young guys in leadership positions?
Yeah, mentally I'm like 12, so yeah, we're good. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
Is the mayor even 30 yet? I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the same thing. You know, it's just issue based. You know.
Do you look at things differently than the older leaders?
I don't know. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Ask me in 20 years, and I'll tell you. But as of right now, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, everything to me comes down to you. You know, maybe not you because you're a Chargers fan.
Exactly, yeah.
But to you, you know, it's okay. You know, we only have so much time on this planet. Let's get the most out of it. You know, if you want to be able to sit in your front yard and burn a cigar and drink sweet tea all day, if you're able to, and you want it to be a nice, quiet, clean neighborhood, then let's make it that way. You know, if you want to make as much money as you can, then let's find the employers to come down here that's going to pay a decent wage. You know, whatever it takes. You know, you want to be highly educated, you want a 14-year college plan, well, then let's find a way to make it affordable so you can do it. You know, so that's what it comes down to. It's you know, if we do something that affects your life positively, it trickles down to the generations behind you. It becomes a generational blessing. It is definitely changing the scope of your family tree, and that's all that matters. Like I said, all this other stuff.
Right. So you get reelected.
Yes, sir.
What's the big thing you want to do? You got something next in your term you want to get done?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we want to continue, the funding that we received in the state budget, to focus on infrastructure throughout the county. And, we passed our big piece of legislation for highway user revenues to restore local funding back to roads. You know, we got to do something to permanently extend the disparity grant funding cut. You know, we get them 2 to 3 year reinstatements. We need a more permanent fix on that. And, it's all about
money for Beaver Run School.
Absolutely, yes, without hesitation.
You're going to support that?
Without hesitation. Without hesitation. We're working on Delmar Elementary now. Fruitland Intermediate and Fruitland Primary need attention. You know, it's the same thing over in Pemberton. You know, all throughout the district. You know, and so we're going to do what we can to ensure that these schools are at the level they should be.
It's amazing that we wait 50 years though, really, before we fix them.
It's kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
50 years is pretty good. I think getting that much time out of a building.
But imagine if we just kind of maintain them all along.
Right.
You know, you might get 75 years.
Well, which we do. I mean, you look at up at Mardella, they win the state award for the comptroller every year because they're keeping this 100-year-old building going. Right.
Well, and it's the same thing. Those community. It's that school is the centerpiece of the community. So everybody feels vested in it, and so and I think that is spreading its way out from Mardella to Delmar, especially down at Fruitland with Bennett Middle down there, and you're seeing it come all the way across the county now, and I think we're going to get to that point, where the community it's like, this is us, this is our house. You're seeing it in West Salisbury now with that elementary school,
right?
How that has totally changed that community.
Amazing out there, yeah.
They built the library so it is accessible from the outside.
Yeah.
So smart.
Just that vibe, though, in that building is just amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to see the fruits of that 20 years from now, and I guarantee it's going to be some of the best fruit we've ever had. And it's just moving the ball forward. Working with this governor, working with the mayor, the county leadership, to see where we can get to next. And I'm excited, blessed, crazy honored, get goosebumps thinking about it, that I get to represent my hometown in Annapolis.
It's almost impossible to go out and not run into you, but if people want to reach out to you and talk to you more, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. You know what? I'm very proud of the people running this time. We have become a trendsetter, apparently, with cell phones.
I have to say,
right?
It was the first time it occurred to me, I thought, well, could it have something to do with Carl? Because in the last election, Carl would give his phone number to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this cycle, I see everyone giving their phone number out, and maybe it's you.
Good job, candidates.
Yeah, congratulations.
Good
on
job.
that.
Way to be out there
That's
and
how it's
answer to your
supposed to be.
people. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's your boss. They need to call you.
So now that you're in and you're reelected, your cell phone is unlisted, I assume.
Absolutely not. It's everywhere. 443-359-1335. It should be right here on the screen. You know, at the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's just kind of fun sometimes. I send goofy stuff to my brother back and forth. It's all under Carl Anderton Jr., one word. You know, the website, carlandertonjr.com. The email address, carlandertonjr@gmail. It's a lot of letters, but I got you. Whatever you need.
Very reachable. You know, I've never told you this. There was the candidate debate at Warwick, which I was the moderator of 4 years ago.
Yes?
And you gave your phone number out, and you said, I'll answer it any time.
Right.
So I wrote it down, and then a man from Easton started talking, and he was talking a really long time. So I dialed that number, and you did not answer.
Was I sitting on the stage?
You were on the stage.
But did I call you back afterwards?
No, you didn't call me back.
What? Oh, I'm having a hard time.
So you don't always
I'm gonna
answer.
call this fake news,
When you're in the
man.
middle of a candidate debate
I'm
on
gonna
TV.
call this. I'm calling this with fake news, brother. So yeah, not on TV. You're right, but I will call afterwards. You know, yeah, it probably came up as spam.
It probably.
yeah.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah, you know how you get the little scale? Spam
Right.
is in red, spam. You know.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
He's Carl Anderton. He does his job a different way, and it's a lot of fun, and we really appreciate having him here today. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. Another special election edition of One-on-One right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and One-on-One. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.